Okay, hello. Before I forget, in the last couple of videos, I keep remembering after I stop the recording, I forgot to remind people who have not yet written an email or wrote an email to me regarding coaching versus like traditional treatment with like therapist, dietitian, inpatient, outpatient, all that. I have this binder. My daughter made this. Isn't this so cute? She made that. And then I have all of these emails, you guys. Like, you guys, seriously, I'm so grateful to all of you. This is so great. I'm going to put them in little clear page protectors. And first, I'm going to highlight the things. I've read through all of these that I printed, but I'm going to highlight the ones I'm going to highlight parts of emails where like it really sticks out, and I think it'd be helpful for them to know. So if you haven't done that, will you please do that? I meet with them on Tuesday. Still trying to say my S's since I got my braces on. My kids totally make fun of me and call me a 2-year-old and can't even take me serious, and I lost all respect in the house. And they're all going to be getting braces on in the next few months, so joke is on them. Anyways, yeah, so if you could write those emails, if you haven't yet, it doesn't have to be super long, just take, even if you wanted to do bullet points, like here are the things that have been really helpful in coaching, or here are the things that have been very unhelpful from traditional treatment. That would be so awesome. I feel like the more that I can go in there with just evidence and proof and people's like firsthand experience of what helps, maybe they'll listen. That's the hope anyways. Okay, so today's video, I had an idea. What was it? What was I going to talk about? Oh, shutting down your thoughts, specifically around fear of weight gain, right? There's kind of a constant stream of fear of weight gain throughout all of recovery, and it kind of goes in the stages, you know? First, before you even get started, you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm so scared to gain weight. And then as you are kind of going through recovery, the weight is coming on and it's still scary, but it's manageable maybe. And then you have these like peaks where it's just like, oh my gosh, I can't go one step forward. I cannot do one more day of this. I can't eat one more thing that scares me. I just cannot keep going, right? And then that's where the thoughts are like, oh my gosh, you are going to. And it's usually that place where people stay stuck in quasi. It's usually that place where people stop. They've made a lot of improvement. They've gained some weight. Things are changing, right? They're noticing some really great things that have come from their effort up to that point. But then that fear of weight gain stops them in their tracks. Like, I just can't do this. I don't know how to overcome this fear of weight gain. And I can tell you by stopping, it's definitely not going to happen. But when the thoughts start coming, like all the time, I'm sure, like, oh my gosh, this is so unhealthy. I'm gaining so much weight, or I'm gonna outgrow my clothes, or whatever it is. I want you to identify it. Like as soon as it comes up, there's probably like a constant kind of repeating, maybe 5 to 10 thoughts that you're gonna have that just keep coming and coming that have to do specifically with weight gain. Write them all down. Like if you can think of them, like, hey, these are ones I have repeatedly all day long that are really kind of deterring my progress. Write them down. And then when they pop up, you're gonna identify them faster. And when they pop up, sorry, let me let Scout out. I think my husband just got home, so she's trying to run out. So when they pop up, I want you to stop them as fast as you can. Like, oh my gosh, I'm so afraid. Oh, that's fear weight. No, I'm not listening to that. I'm not listening to that. And so just be very, very stern with yourself. Be very adamant that you're not going to entertain that thought. Because what happens when you do entertain that thought surrounding any kind of thought that's geared towards fear of weight gain or gaining weight or gaining more weight or it never ending the weight gain? Usually it's like, oh my gosh, how am I going to show up at that like reunion, or how am I going to show up in what's it going to look like when I see my friend? None of my clothes are going to fit. I can't stand seeing myself in pictures. I'm not going to want to do this. I'm going to do that. And you're just painting this picture of like absolute misery. It's like you're basically going to die. Your life is going to end if you gain more weight. And you're just catastrophizing that whole situation when you let your thoughts just run wild around that. And so you have to develop this superpower, and you have to get really good at saying, no, I'm actually not going to entertain that. No, I'm shutting it down. And in addition to that, I want you to replace it with like, no, let's say, okay, let's rehearse this. I have let's say I want pizza. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've had a lot today. This is kind of getting out of hand. I feel like I'm gonna gain weight. Oh, no, I'm gonna freaking fully recover. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm recovering and I'm rewiring. I'm eating that pizza. Like, get really dramatic about it. Get really stern with it. And you notice a lot of my videos are talking about that and why you need to do that, because your brain learns. Your brain learns, right? It's giving you thoughts, you're kind of talking back to it all day long, and then your actions are going to essentially support whatever it is that you're choosing to believe. So if you're choosing to believe by gaining weight, you're going to have just an absolute, like, catastrophic, awful, miserable life. Guess what? Your actions are going to start to follow, or will continue to follow. But if you're like, you know what? I think I can figure out a way. I don't know how yet, but I think if push comes to shove and I have to figure out a way how to be happier in a bigger body, perhaps there's a chance I could. I'm gonna go for that option and just see. And guess what? There is, but you have to make that decision. I'm going to go towards that, and I'm gonna learn as I go that I'm okay in a bigger body. I'm okay to gain more weight, even though I feel like I've already gained more than I ever anticipated. I'm okay to gain more weight. Now, this is a tool that, like, obviously isn't gonna just fix your problem, make your weight gain go away, or for your weight gain go away, but it can definitely help you push past that kind of plateau, or that place where people become very complacent, where it's like, no more, I'm done. Like, I'm just gonna stay here. And we all know that never happens. Staying there is sad. First of all, if you are staying there, it's so much work. Oh my gosh. I mean, I wanna say, like, hats off to you for white knuckling it for so long, but no, don't do that. It's terrible, right? And most people end up kind of slipping backwards over time without really realizing it. It's just too exhausting of a place to sit and stay. And so be brave and trust and believe and visualize and imagine when those thoughts pop up that scare you. I want you to shift your focus to, like, actually, you know what? I could see myself rocking it in a bigger body. You know what? Actually, like, I know a lot of people in bigger bodies that are freaking hilarious and nice and fun and are successful. Wow, maybe I could, you know, like, there's so much, even if you don't want to admit, there's so much, like, deep-seated fat phobia, fear of being bigger, that when you're gaining the weight, guess what? It kind of surfaces and you work through it and you get past it, okay? And you only do that as, again, you work on, and the cool thing about this is it happens if you just focus on rewiring, this will happen. I promise you it will happen. It always does. Focusing on rewiring instead of focusing on how am I going to get around this weight gain. Focus on rewiring. I'm just going to eat that. I'm going to freaking eat it. I don't care. That mentality and eating every time you think of food, that will, over time, your brain will change and the fear that you have will come down naturally. There's also obviously the reframing. There's obviously the consistency factor, the time just being in that body. All of those things help, but really to get you past that kind of threshold where you just don't think you can go on, really focus on what do I need to do to rewire. I think I've talked about this in old videos. Instead of focusing on how am I going to go over the weight gain, how am I going to focus on rewiring, and what do I need to do that? And then when the thought pops up about weight gain, we shut it down immediately. Reframe it and then act, right? Essentially, go and do the thing that you're so afraid of. Okay, have a wonderful weekend. Bye.